Hi guys, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Brittany.
And today we're going to be talking about self-love.
Every good girl chat needs some refreshments and snacks.
And to be exact, we're going to be drinking some champagne.
And popcorn.
And popcorn. I mean, it doesn't get any classier than that.
It really doesn't.
Cheers!
Cheers! All jokes aside, what we are talking about is very serious.
Yes. So I always get questions about how... People always ask me, how did you become so confident? How did you, how was your journey? Was it something quick? Was it something overnight? And to be honest, it wasn't anything like that. It's never quick. It's never overnight. And it wasn't like one thing that just made everything change completely.
Well, I feel like something like that can't be overnight. It's
yeah,
not quick.
Absolutely not.
I mean, even for somebody like me, it doesn't matter who you are. Self-love is very difficult to achieve, especially in today's society.
Absolutely.
Because
I feel like we all have our own struggles. Mine might be weight. Someone else's can be being too skinny or being too tall or the shape of their nose.
The way they walk.
Yeah, I mean...
the list is honestly endless.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you all have your insecurities as well that I hope that you can overcome.
Yeah.
Because you're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
So, what began your self-love journey?
When I was in college, my first boyfriend ever, actually, he broke up with me after a while because of my weight. And
What?
Yeah, he broke up with me because of my weight. It's not like I gained the weight while we were in the relationship.
Okay.
I was as big as I was when he broke up with me.
All right.
It was one of the worst experiences ever. Like, I felt so bad, but then I decided that I never wanted to let anyone, have that much power over me.
No.
So I just, I let him go.
Yeah, and as you should.
Yeah.
You should have kicked him out the freaking door.
It was like, boy, bye, honestly.
Later. You're lucky that I wasn't in your life during this time because,
oh my God, my friends, no. So when I told my friends were so mad. There's this one friend, hey Annette, she was so mad about it. Like, she literally wanted to go find him and, him up, honestly.
That's
I was
so
like,
up.
It's just so ridiculous. The part is not like, oh, you gained weight after a while and I don't like this and you're not going to do any changes or whatever. It was literally, I'm not really happy about it. And the worst part was that he wasn't even straight up about it. He was just beating around the bush about it. So that even irked me more. And I was like, I can't. And I remember saying this on the phone call. I was like, because he didn't even do it. Oh, okay, he didn't even do it.
Wait. On the phone?
No, on Facebook. On Facebook Messenger. On Facebook.
What the?
Yeah. On Facebook Messenger, he said me, he was like, I don't think this is working out. I'm not happy in this relationship. You're too touchy about certain topics. He would never really say what it was, but we already knew what it was. I was just like, wait, I was like, are you doing this over Facebook right now? Is this right?
I literally been like...
So I picked up the phone, and I was like...
Good for you.
Do you want to at least tell me, can you tell me, through phone at least? And he was like, I didn't... he had no words. So I was like, you know what? Honestly, and he wanted me to chase him and be like, no, don't leave me, don't... And I was like, listen, I will not chase anyone. If you don't want to be with me, then that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force, and you should never force anyone to want to be with you.
Absolutely not.
At all.
They should want to be with you.
Exactly. No, and I feel like they should want to be with you. Your partner should be someone who makes you feel pretty and should make you feel loved. I mean, you should do it for yourself. You should feel loved. You should love yourself because then that makes it easier for other people to see the beauty and the kindness in you.
Absolutely.
But the person should encourage that and should make you feel oh yeah, I'm actually really pretty, and it's not only about being pretty, it's about I'm a great person, I'm a great quality of human, I'm a great friend, I'm a great sister, daughter, student, whatever.
They should make you feel like you could walk on water.
Exactly. And not this trash guy.
Trash guy. Yeah, trash guy.
Trash guy.
Trash guy.
Trash guy.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers to that for dumping that out.
Yeah, leaving him in the dust. So who were the role models when you were growing up that made you body positive?
I didn't have any role models growing up. I always felt like the outcast because I didn't look like everyone else. So I needed to find someone who was big and pretty so that I can feel like I'm big and pretty too. I can be big and beautiful as well.
And you are beautiful.
Thank you.
In every way possible.
Aw, thank you, babe. You're so sweet. She's so sweet.
So what motivated you to love yourself?
I was always the biggest sister, and seeing that my sisters were smaller than me and they hated themselves made me want to love myself so that I can teach them how to love themselves.
Oh.
To just be an example to them. It's my older sister, and I always thought they were so gorgeous and pretty, and I looked up to them, even to my younger sisters, because
they're your sisters.
Like they're my sisters, and I was like so proud of them. And then when I hear them say things like, "Oh my God, I'm so ugly because of this," because like my boobs aren't big enough, or like my stomach's too big, or like I'm not tall enough, and it's just like, why are you being so harsh to yourself when in my eyes you look beautiful and you're gorgeous?
Well, you're your own worst critic.
Exactly. We really are. That's one of the things we should always keep in mind is like, we should stop judging ourselves through other people's eyes, because that's something that I do a lot. Like, I'll be like, ooh, they probably think I look weird. They probably, like, who cares what other people think, you know? Like, as long as you're happy, you're healthy, and you're good with yourself and other people, you're a kind person, then I think you should be fine.
Most people don't even recognize or, like, realize what you're self-conscious about.
Absolutely,
Like, I'll walk around and be like, oh my God, like, look at this zit on my face. And people are like, where?
Yeah.
Or like, oh my God, like, even if you feel fat someday or whatever, like, nobody notices.
Yeah.
You always,
it's all internal.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
It really is all in your head. So who motivated you the most to love yourself?
I surrounded myself with people who were body positive, and I met friends who accepted me at my worst. So that just made me feel better by myself. And honestly, self-confidence is contagious as
Oh, it's absolutely contagious as
It really is. Like, when you surround yourself with people who are in that way, it makes you want to achieve to be like them or even better, you know? So
exactly.
it's like people who you have to surround yourself with people who motivate you to be better. You push yourself to be better persons. And
especially if you see somebody who's going out there in the world and putting themselves out there and just being kind of like, F you if you don't like me. Like,
yeah.
You just kind of see that and you're like, well, I can do that.
Exactly.
Like, I can be like that.
It's about motivating and pushing each other to, like, your limits and, like, making sure that you're living your life to the fullest and not, you know, hiding the way I used to hide so much because I didn't like the way I looked. And, you know, it's just about surrounding yourself with great people.
Absolutely. Which is why I surround myself with you.
Oh, she's so sweet, I swear.
So, what is the hardest thing about loving yourself?
The hardest thing about loving yourself is deciding that you are pretty. Not letting other people tell you that you are. I did this mirror challenge where I would look at myself in the morning without makeup, without anything, and would tell myself, you're beautiful, you're smart. Kind of like what DJ Khaled. Yeah, no, oh.
All right, okay. So DJ Khaled, literary, musical, like pop culture.
Yeah. So kind of like what DJ Khaled does. Like, you know, he's like, you're beautiful, you're smart, I appreciate you. Kind of those things. You just say, you look in the mirror and you say it to yourself, and you start believing it. It really does. Like, after a while, you start believing, and you're like, you know what? I am pretty. I am smart. I am a person worthy of love.
Well, it's the same thing when you have somebody who's saying, like, you're ugly, you're fat, and you start believing that. So reverse that, turn it around, and be like, no, I'm pretty. I'm beautiful.
I'm
you
smart.
Know what? Maybe I'm not a stick-thin figure that I'm seeing in a photoshopped ad, because that's not real. But I have a life.
Yeah.
And I'm living it.
Exactly.
I want to live it to the fullest.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's about. It's about learning to appreciate yourself so that you live your life to the fullest, and you don't stay back and not do your stuff because you're shy or embarrassed about how you look and who you are.
So obviously you've overcome them, but what comments on your weight and appearance have affected you the most?
I think when your family tells you, you know, they're a little bit not as body positive as you are, and you hear these things, that affects you the most, because when your family sees the things that you hate the most about you, it hurts even more. And it's not because they're trying to, be mean or anything like that, but they're honestly, genuinely, in their way, trying to help you. But I feel like you need to teach them how you want to be treated. So they would say these things because I would always say, oh my God, I look so gross, I look so ugly because I'm fat in this. So they would hear it, and then they would say, hey, are you trying to do anything? Like, you should lose weight, or like but not even in a nice way. So when I started saying positive things about myself, they heard that. And then they started saying these things, and then the comments, the fat shaming stopped. Mm-hmm. So it's important to teach others how you want to be treated. What exactly. I did, I showed them by example. I would talk positive about myself, and so did they.
That's great.
That worked.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. Like, what about you? Tell me, did you ever feel at a point that, what made you feel, because you're one of the most confident people I know, and honestly, it's very admirable. You really are.
I feel like it's actually like started just like a few years ago when I really just started to realize like I'm gonna be who I want to be, because if you looked at me in high school compared to now, I am two completely different people.
Really?
I've always I have the same personality traits.
Yeah.
But now it's just kind of like amplified.
Unapologetic about it.
Exactly. I honestly think I really started to become who I was after my eating disorder.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was going through that, I kind of just started going through the motions of life without really living it, because I didn't have enough like actual energy. And people realized that. Like, they didn't see that same like spark anymore. I was just kind of, I was there and I was coherent, I was talking everything, but I just didn't have as much live.
The essence of who you were.
Exactly. Like, a part of me actually died.
Yeah.
So then when I started getting help and I started becoming me again, I just had so much more personality in life, and I just wanted to experience everything, because I kind of wanted to make up for like the year or two that it was just kind of less, it was just muted.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely turned off. I still, my college experience was amazing. My friends are amazing. I still had a lot of fun and, was living life, but just not to the fullest extent.
To the way you wanted it to
exactly.
be. Yeah.
So now it's just kind of like, I have this whole perspective of just go out and be yourself and do what you want to do, and nothing's perfect. No day is going to be perfect. And you know what? You're going to eat like however you want to. If you want to have a handful of popcorn, you don't have to go and like run on the treadmill for like 55 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, I have 2 handfuls of popcorn right now.
But like, who motivated you? What made you decide that, okay, it's time for me to start living my life to the fullest again?
So I think when my friends really sat me down and said, we feel like you're not you anymore. We feel like we've lost a part of you. And by that time, I was so tired of micromanaging everything in my life and micromanaging meals and when I was going to eat and what I was going to eat. Like, I wouldn't go out to dinner with people because I didn't know what the menu was going to have.
Oh, wow.
So
it literally stopped you from living and having a social life.
Affecting my life. So that's when I saw, like, my family and friends were very concerned. And they because they saw what was happening to me, and I should have been hospitalized.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I got help right before that point, but once I realized, I was just tired, and I was like, let me just give this whole health thing a chance. And if I don't like it for some reason, I can go back to living how I was.
Yeah.
But then once I started, like, feeling energy and, like, kind of, like, it was just like I awoke. Like, I was awake again, and I was like, oh, my God, a tree, a bird, a plant, like...
That's so true. That is so true. Honestly, the moment that I decided that I was going to love myself, everything became so much more beautiful. Everything is so much more amplified, because you when you see the ugly in you, you can't see the beauty around you.
No.
Bottom line. You just can't. The moment I started seeing the beauty within me, physically and internally, I have never seen an ugly person in my life now. Like, to me, everyone is beautiful. To me, everyone, because I see the best in people. And I think that's a great trait to have. I see, like, beauty in everyone. It doesn't matter how you look, how tall, how much you weigh, where you're from. Like, I can see the beauty in anyone. And I feel that's because I decided to love myself. And, like, the moment I decided to love myself, I started to see the beauty in others. So.
Exactly. And you realize that you've overcome all of these struggles, and you don't know what other people are struggling with right now. You don't know why somebody is overweight or underweight. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can also see these people who are like, oh my God, they're so fit and whatever. They're probably, they might be giving up all of their favorite foods or whatever. I live in New York City.
Yeah.
I am not going to pass up some of the best cuisine.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm on, because
I feel like there's supposed to be a balance to everything.
There is a balance.
As long as you're healthy and you're happy and you're working out, if that's what you need in your life, then do it. But don't limit yourself to just because you want to please others.
You can't micromanage.
Yeah.
Once you start micromanaging, you're no longer living, you're planning.
Yeah.
You're planning and scheduling.
That's so true.
You gotta live.
Absolutely true. This is such a good conversation. Cheers
to life.
Cheers to life.
Cheers to living life.
There we go. I love how your champagne is almost done and I still have so much on it.
Mm-hmm. Honey, I don't play games.
Thank you guys for watching. If you guys related to any of our topics or anything like that, leave comments below. We would love to hear and read what you guys have been through and what helped you love yourself.
Absolutely. You are beautiful.
That is true. You're beautiful.
Enjoy life.
Live your life. Live your life to the fullest. You only have one.
You really do.
Bye.
Bye.